Hello and welcome back. So this time we're going to do full practice test for IELTS speaking. It means you're going to do parts 1, 2, and 3 with the time and with the questions, definitely. As you can see, it says here sample 1. I hope you will watch out for my other uploads, so samples 2 and more. So let's get started. All right, so in part 1, it is the introduction. You will be asked general questions or familiar topics, and you have 4 to 5 minutes to do this. You're going to listen to me and answer the questions. Of course, in the actual test, you won't be able to read the questions. But for this time only, I'm going to show you the questions to guide you through the sample practice test. Are you ready? Let's get started. Good morning. My name is John and I am your examiner today. What's your full name, please? And what should I call you? All right. May I see your identification, please? Okay, thank you. In the first part of the test, I'd like to ask you questions about yourself. Now, let's talk about the place where you live. Where do you live? Do you live in a house or a flat? What do you think about your neighborhood? What is your favorite room in your house? And why do you like it? Can you tell me something about your hometown? What do you like about the place where you live? And now let's talk about your weekends. How do you usually spend your weekend? And do you think you have enough free time at the weekends? Who do you usually spend your free time with? What hobbies and interests are popular in your country? All right. Now let's move on to talk about weather. Do you prefer hot weather or cold weather, and why? Tell me about the weather in your country at different times of the year. Okay, so time is up. Thank you. So in part two, this is called the cue card part, or cue card questions, or prompt card questions. Is the individual long term. So you have 3 to 4 minutes in total. Listen to me and answer the questions. Of course, in the actual test, you'll have 1 minute to prepare your answers and 1 to 2 minutes to deliver your answers. I hope you have your pen and paper with you. You can pause the video and take a hold of a pen and paper for you to write down some of your notes. Let's start. Now, let's move on to part two. For part two, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it in 1 to 2 minutes. You'll have 1 minute to read the questions and prepare your answers. You can make some notes if you wish. Here's your paper and pencil, and here's your topic. I'd like you to describe a tourist attraction you once visited. You may start preparing now. Okay. You may begin speaking now. And would you like to go back there in the future? Okay. Would you recommend the place to other tourists? So that is the end of part 2. So now we're moving to part 3. It's two-way discussion. You have 4 to 5 minutes. You're going to listen to me and answer the questions. The questions are related to your topic in part 2. We shall begin. We've been talking about a tourist destination in part 2. In part 3, I'll be asking you questions related to it. Let's start. What do you think is the best way to travel? Alone, with friends, or on a package tour? And do you think traveling is a form of education? Why or why not? Who do you usually spend your free time with? And do you consider the influx of tourists to be beneficial to your city? Okay. And what positive impact will tourism bring to local culture, communities, and the environment? And what are the negative effects of overwhelming tourism? When there are too many tourists coming to a certain country or to a city, what are the negative impacts of this? All right. And how can you promote local tourism? How can you promote local tourism? All right, that is the end of your speaking test. Thank you. All right, so that is the end of sample 1, full practice tests. So watch out for the full practice test, sample 2. Okay?